Welcome to JasonWhiskyWise and myself, Jason, today bringing you whiskey review into the Talisker 10-year-old. So the Talisker 10 is the entry-level expression for the Talisker range, which I actually had before you. And I want to say thank you, firstly, for all your support on the Dalmore range, which I just covered. So if you haven't seen anything, I'll leave it linked up here. So I've got the Talisker range. I think I've got around about 11 expressions. So we've got this trio pack, which comes in a blue thing. I'll probably leave a picture here. It comes with the 10, the Storm and the Skye, which are the more or less considered entry-level drams from Talisker. And I've got the 30, the 25, the 18, the Neist Point, I think. Can't see the actual labels of these. Yep, that's the Neist Point, the travel retail expression. And also the Portree, which is sometimes it's spelled Port Ruighe if you try to pronounce it, but Portree is the way of pronunciation. Now I've also got 57 North, which is one of my favorites, and that's in the house. And then I've got the Distillers edition. So the whole Talisker range in this video. So sorry, Mr. Bananas. There you go. He can have a dram of that later. So we'll start ourselves out. I've got my dram poured, and I am using a different camera now, so everything is a bit alien to me because my other one was overheating, so I need to get a new camera because I'm actually using my phone. So let's get into the Talisker 10-year-old. We'll begin by my review style structure. The age on this whiskey, it is a 10-year-old expression. It's bottled at an ABV of 45.8%, so it's just under 46. The actual cask selection are American oak casks, to what I've read online. Nowhere said sherry casks are used in the 10. The actual distillery itself is the Talisker Distillery. They are owned by the parent company Diageo, who own quite a lot of distilleries actually in Scotland. And then they are located in the islands of Scotland, in the Isle of Skye. So we will pay them a visit, I think, towards winter this year, because I'm going to Islay and Campbelltown in May. So we'll probably do the Isle of Skye towards the end. And I'll take you guys with me on a tour, and then that way we can show you the distillery, hopefully get some drone shots, and just make it a bit more interesting for those of you who are not able to get to Scotland. Now, the actual price point on this bottle over here, and I can actually use that one, but I'll show you how the big bottle looks. It's around about £38 here in the United Kingdom. You can get it on offer for 30, and you can also sometimes pay 40 if you wish. But I'm always looking online to check the best price and then check where the shops, because some of them do really good promotions, especially supermarkets. So, in terms of exclusivity, it's not exclusive. It is a core expression. And in terms of caramel colour, it sadly does contain caramel colour. So instead of assessing the actual colour of the whiskey to begin, we'll assess by the nose. So into the nose. So to begin on the nose with the Talisker 10, this expression straight away starts out with the house style, that little bit of coastal breeze, that maritime sea spray. And the distillery is located just literally right next to the ocean, so you will get a lot of water and a lot of that sort of sea spray coming into the warehouses. But then it's followed up by a slightly charcoal fire. There's a little bit of a sweeter note also lingering in the background, and this is almost like a spice, like a sweet clove that's been toasted, and it's just activated the spices and the aroma to linger around. A little bit of even black pepper over there, but it's ever so faint, and it's followed up by, for me, what I find as green olives. It's like when you've left olives for a while, once you've gone to the shop and you picked up a tin or a jar, olives, and you just pretty much open the jar and you're smelling the olivey character coming through. There is a slight note behind that of a slight herbal note, and it's like rosemary to me. I don't know if you guys do your roast dinners or your Sunday roasts, but you use rosemary, that rosemary character. And then just on the end of that, a minerally character just finishing it off. It's quite a bit of flavours on the actual nose of a 10-year-old. So let's begin by assessing the palate. Let's see if it reflects on Slanger. So, into the actual palate for the Talisker 10. The texture, I kept it longer on the palate, and one thing that I recommend is holding on the palate and almost like you're having to chew the whiskey. That way you really get the flavours. So it started out quite light on arrival, and then it developed into a medium texture, almost a medium full, which is really impressive for a 10-year-old. Still going, it's still just wrapping itself all around my taste buds, all around the palate. So you do start with a spicy character as an introduction. Black pepper coated in a jacket of honey, where you get that little bit of sweetness lingering straight after the spice. A little bit of cloves coming in. A bit of salted meats. Those green olives are definitely back now. And for me, the one thing I'm finding is like green olives, which have had the seed taken out, and you put a little bit of garlic inside. It just adds a little bit more of an extra dimension to the olivey character. There is a sort of that fiery smoke that's back in that I found on the nose, but it's followed up now by that vanilla character. And it's almost like a vanilla salted caramel, where that saltiness really comes back. And I found it on the beginning of the palate, but it's back in on the end of the palate, really there, but with a nice sweetness wrapping itself around it. Really great on the palate. Let's go into the finish. The finish for the Talisker 10 is quite one where you've got a mixture and combination of spices wrapped around this sort of maritime character. Starts off with a black pepper. That honey is back in there, sweetening things out. It then reactivates with a little dash of nutmeg, and almost like you've taken a cinnamon bark, fresh cinnamon bark, and you've tried to take a bite on a cinnamon bark, where you get a little bit of an oaky character, a slight dryness, but then the sweet cinnamon comes through. You also get characters of orange, but it's like a spiced orange. It's not a normal juicy orange, which gives you that really ripe citrus, but a slight spiced sort of clove orange, giving you the combination of the citrus and the spice together. Overall though, in terms of judging the finish of this whiskey, I'd say it's along the lines of I'd say medium full. It holds itself really powerfully for a 10-year-old expression. So, now time to give my rating for this whiskey. And this one was actually rather impressive. I'm going to go here. I'm giving this one an 86 out of 100. Reason behind that, I just felt for a 10-year-old expression, even though it does have caramel colour, and it's a very small factor in this whiskey because it's not heavily coloured, the flavours you're getting on this one, that pepper, that little bit of sweetness, all of those wrapped together so well-rounded and balanced in a 10-year-old expression. I just found it really amazing. And also a recommendation for people who are getting into peated whiskies or struggling to get to the Islay whiskies or get into a little bit more of those styles. Try Talisker out. Talisker 10 is one of those ones you'll find it at all bars, all restaurants, all good restaurants, I should have one, and all whiskey shops as well, and bars. It's one of those ones that created a stepping stone for a lot of people. You get that maritime character, which is a salty character. You get the spices, and that smoke is ever so gentle. And once you become accustomed to it, it becomes an easy stepping stone to getting into a bit more stronger whiskies, which we'll probably see when we try some of the 57 North or even some of the other expressions like the Storm or the Dark Storm. Now, if you haven't also seen, I did a video on the Dark Storm, which I'll leave over here. And be sure to go and check it out because it is a travel retail expression. But on that note, 86 out of 100 for the Talisker 10. Let me know your thoughts if you've tried this expression. What's your opinion? Let me know down below in the comment section, as I always love interacting with you guys. And on that note, if you have enjoyed the video, by all means feel free to drop it a thumbs up. Be sure to check out some other Talisker videos I'll leave on the screen here. And be sure to hit my subscribe button. I'll leave that there if you're new to my channel. But on that note, this has been JasonWhiskyWise, and I will catch you for the next video. Slàinte.